for myself. I'm gonna ask for a vote here, okay? And see which one. I have a feeling you're gonna, because I only brought 3 of the like 20 or 30. Hold on.
Do you want me to hold them up?
Oh, I'll do it.
Okay.
All right. So this one is just Fennec, all right? It's pretty cool. It's like all different aspects of it, right? And it's I think Doug Chang helped to do this one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then this one is, of course, got the title.
Kind of comic book style.
Got the boba. Okay, and that's number 2, and it's got Fennec in there. And then this one is more classy, just boba and Fennec in pencil drawing.
Very cool.
So which one should I wear? 1, 2, or 3? Which one do you think?
It's a toss-up between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
2 or 3? 2? Or 3? That's a 2. I will give him 2.
All right.
Outstanding, yeah. Good, nice merch there. Okay. We're so thrilled to have you here. And is it true that you're actually going to be getting your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame later this year? Yeah, let's hear it. I mean, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, really. So, you know, it's the only great thing about all this cool stuff that's happening is it's some stuff that I've manifested in my life as far as dreaming about wanting to be in a Star Wars project, right? Dreaming about becoming an actor and having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So
unreal. The journey though is incredible.
And being, you know, first being an Asian woman, those were 2 strikes against me. But I'm in Vancouver. I'm with like my Star Wars nerds and my Asians.
You're in a safe space.
But then on top of all that, you know, there's ageism too, right? Because I'm no spring chicken. But the great thing is, if I'm an example of what can happen, if I can inspire you guys to go after your dreams, especially the young ones that I've been meeting today. I've met a couple of freshmen of high school.
The younglings.
The youngins, yes. I get so excited when I meet new Star Wars fans because it brings back memories of me being a teenager loving Star Wars. And it's manifesting your own destiny, right? It's fulfilling your own potential. So I'm all about that. If I can inspire that it can happen because it happened to this weird girl nerd here, it can happen to you.
She's living the dream. Okay, I don't want to ask what your favorite Star Wars film is, but I do want to ask you, because I know you're an expert, what is your favorite sequence or scene in any of the Star Wars movies? Because everyone's got like a favorite moment or like an action scene or just like an interplay of dialogue. What do you go to in terms of your favorite Star Wars moment?
Wow.
Like you can choose any of them, like prequels, you know, like the originals.
I think I go back to the one where in the original movie, that's now number 4, A New Hope.
New Hope.
When Luke is looking at the binary sunset.
Yeah!
Right?
And the John Williams score swells.
And his Luke Skywalker theme by John Williams swells up. And it's all about this farm boy feeling like he's never going to be able to do what he wanted. His dreams were going to be squashed, and what would become of, you know, his life. It's, I don't know, that moment, and I think for many of us, it resonates where it's about hoping and wishing for something and feeling like you're defeated, and then suddenly you become the hero, you know? So, so that moment is very special for me.
Echoes your own story a little bit, I think.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Tamura Morrison is an absolute force.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I've loved that guy since Once We're Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Tem is the bomb.
But I love, there's a balance that you bring to his character. I don't know if everyone's caught up completely. I think they have, but I will avoid spoilers. But there's a key scene in the later in the season for the Book of Boba Fett, where Boba has a confrontation with another classic villain, and Fennec comes out and kind of talks him down a little bit, or gives him some reason. So talk to me about what you bring to the character of Boba Fett and how you two kind of strike that balance in that world.
All right, first of all, how crazy that I'm working with Boba Fett, right?
Yeah. How crazy that Boba Fett's still alive.
Oh yeah, well he's very much, right? Yeah. And Tem is, I'll tell you a little secret. When I first met Tem, I was petrified. One, because, he's Boba Fett. And two, because he was acting so serious. Tem can put on this really serious persona. And he did it on purpose because he wanted to intimidate me. And then later, like little by little, the man is all heart. And I think that's what he brings to the character. He brings so much empathy and he grounds that character so much. He makes him more human, and I just adore him.
It's fascinating because Boba in the original movies was never developed. He had like a couple of lines of dialogue, and now I don't want to say that they softened his image, but I think a lot of people are surprised and delighted at where they are taking his character and the importance of community and a kind of family that he's building. So I think that's a great part of the show. Let's get some questions from people. So in an orderly fashion, if you can, we can just line up to one of the two mics there. Keep your masks on if you can. And because we do have the masks on, let's make sure we're really crowding the mic and really projecting our voice. Before we get to questions and as everyone lines up, I want to talk about your costume. Because it commands such, you just look so badass in it. Like, does that help kind of conjure up the character's characteristics, for lack of a better word, when you're in costume? Because it just looks so cool.
Oh, absolutely. I think the most amazing part about creating a character is having all the departments, from the hair department to the makeup to wardrobe, to take what's written on the page and make it come to life. And with Fennec, once I saw the costume, because I think Doug Chiang and a lot of the designer, John Favreau, and of course Dave Filoni. Who does not love Dave Filoni? Biggest nerd in the world. The costume, first of all, the orange color was so significant for me. And the fact that her name was Fennec, and it's Fennec foxes that comes to mind, and Fennec foxes have that orange coloring in their fur.
And I think they're a desert fox, aren't they?
Yeah, and just all those elements, and that's when it inspired me to want to do something really cool with her hair, because Maria Sandoval, who's an amazing hair person, I came up with this idea of like having these ears in the braids, and she somehow made it happen. And then it became, and then the braid was the tail, and it became this character, and then she felt like she was the assassin, because an assassin should not have flowing hair, like blowing in the wind, right? Especially with the helmet.
It's gonna get caught on something.
It's gonna get caught, and it just became such a treat to create that character, all because of the name, the costume, and the silhouette of her costume. It's very, very noticeable.
I just love that because Fennec, there's like a name and a concept image, but then you just fill it and bring it to life, and I just think that's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
All right, question time. We'll start on this side. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know your recent work with is Boba Fett, right? We're twinsies, but mine's about bubble tea. For me as a millennial, you're iconic to me because Ba is quote unquote the badass Disney princess.
Yeah.
So this is personally why I'm here, and my question to you is that diversity and inclusion is very important, especially for young women of color, obviously. So what is your advice to them and to others who look like us? To go in this industry and to have more representation on film.
Yeah, I grew up in white suburbia, You know, after coming from, like, I was raised in Hong Kong, but I was really, really young, and so most of my formidable years was in Pittsburgh. And I think there were many, many times when I felt, as an Asian American, that I felt like I was not part of the larger group, that I was not part of, you know, my community in many ways. And so I did a lot to try to like push away from my culture and push away from my identity. I wanted to like anglicize my name. Not that there's anything wrong with anglicizing your name. You know, your name is your name, and you have to love it and identify with it. But I had a very strange name, Ming-Na Wen. And, but it just never felt right. So it's taken me this long, decades later, to recognize that you need to love who you are, embrace what you can offer, and hell, being Asian, I mean, we got good skin. We stay young looking for a really long time, and that's really great. But I think the more you understand who you are and what you can offer and what you can bring to the table, and the more confidence you have about that, the more it becomes universal. And people will feel that confidence and make them respect and accept you as you are. And that's all we all want, right? All these stories, all these fantasy figures that we love to cosplay with, so many of them are always just about searching their self-worth and their identity. And that's what I would say, is just love who you are, because you're perfect.
There you go, beautiful. Thank you so much for that question. I will say we're not going to get to everyone's questions, and that's partly my fault because I've spent the whole first 15 minutes blabbing. I'm sorry, truly, but we'll get to as many as we can, and we'll go on this side now. Go ahead.
And I'll keep my answer short. Okay, go.
Just to echo a bit about that representation matters. I know talked about how when I was growing up, you were probably the first person I saw that looked like me in the media that I consumed. So I'm just wondering, for you, who was that for you growing up? Did you see yourself in anyone in particular while you were growing up?
I saw myself in certain characters, but for me, I think Asian characters were hard to come by. I mean, we had the Bruce Lees, you know, representations with martial arts, and I embrace that now too. You know, that's our art form, damn it, and we should be proud of it, because it's a beautiful art form for everything that it offers philosophically, as well as physically. But I mean, I love Sigourney Weaver, I love, you know, strong women, but I just always look to my mom. My mom was my idol, so.
Nice one. Yes, go ahead over here.
Hi, Ming-Na.
Hi.
My name's Cody.
Hi, Cody.
And first off, I'm gonna say you're a badass. So thank you for that.
Can you say it louder for my husband?
Your wife's a badass. You know, just agreeing with Thor with that too. So, so you've been, I guess you have a great relationship with Disney, being in a few of their projects, shows, and movies.
It paid for my house.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lovely place. So I know DC is kind of the the rival of Marvel and Disney, of course. Is there a character you would love to play or like to play for either it's, you know, the DCEU or animated or any other projects?
I mean, I have crossed over to DC. I was in one of the Batman series. I think it was just called The Batman, and I played Detective Yin in it. This was a few years back, so I have crossed over. But heck, you know, if DC calls me up, I'm more than happy to put on a DC cap. I don't think the rivalry is just within those worlds. You know, for me as an actor, it's just all about creating a great character or having fun. So I think all those worlds are very valid and wonderful, and they offer incredible escapism for all of us. So yeah, DC, call me.
You got our number. Go ahead on this side.
Yeah, so what was it like filming in the volume as opposed to, you know, green screen or physical sets?
Physical what?
Physical sets or green screen, like filming in the volume like they did.
Did you hear what I heard?
No, I didn't, but your mind is clearly in the gutter.
Physical, sets. Okay. You guys know, right?
There's a lot of technologically innovative things happening with the visual effects on
Yes.
those productions.
Well, if you've ever been to Disneyland, Disney World, or any amusement parks where you're immersed in, you know, the massive picture, like what is that one, soaring,
Like the wings over...
something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But it's like that, but a million times more vivid, because the images are so saturated and so digitally enhanced that when you're in it, you are in that world, and it's incredible. It really helps an actor not to just have green screen and you have to use your imagination. You know, when Boba Fett and I were trying to get his ship back, when we were in that volume, we were looking at his ship, and it looked massive, you know? So you can't help but react to it. And when it was taking off, and they were blowing that Beyonce fan wind at me, you know, it's like, you just react, because it's like, it's a ship, whatever the name of it is now these days, I don't know.
That's right.
Starfire.
It's just Boba's ship, that's right. We'll leave it at that.
Boba ship.
Thank you so much, and we'll take one over here.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Melinda May.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. My name is Reggie, and I'd like to start off by saying it's my greatest honor to see you in person today, to actually ask you a question, because back in the Philippines, I was only watching you in movies like Mulan and Joy Luck Club, and recently is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I really, really love, that I've started subscribing to Disney Premium. And my wife even says that when she sees you with that Melinda May look, you have a really, really good projection on the TV screen. Yes, I love that act. Yeah. So, thank you so much for giving us Melinda May. Now my question is, throughout this you portrayed very great characters, and which one do you really love and you will be willing to do over and over again?
Well, if this body holds out, you know. I would love to. I miss being, you know, the cavalry. I miss being Agent May. So yeah, that would be amazing to reprise that role. And I mean, that's why I loved, like, even when I did that cameo for the live action Mulan. You know, it was just such a touchstone moment to pass the baton and to be part of it, because you know, I have so much history with all those characters. I spent 7-8 years being Melinda May, you know, so all of them. But like right now, my baby is Fennec Shand. I absolutely love being Fennec Shand. Yeah.
And just one last thing, can you make me an honorary Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. agent by asking the iconic line, for example, Agent Reggie, are you willing to comply? Can you just do that for me, ma'am? This is my chance.
No.
That's okay. Thank you so much, Miss Ming-Na.
It's worth a try. Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead on this side.
In the book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, is the Grogu puppet as cute as it looks?
Cuter. It is so hard to work with him on set. Number one, he's an absolute diva. All right, I'm telling you, hardest character to work with. No, he does have an entourage though. He really does. He's got like 4 puppeteers, as well as a slew of other parts of him that works together, and it's incredible. They're so talented. But Grogu is, once he starts moving, he is alive. And it's amazing. I mean, it's very hard to keep that Fennec Shand face when he's on set, because all I just want to do is just pinch his cheeks.
Thanks so much. I think it was so important to have a physical, physical character versus like a digital creation. For someone like Grogu, who has to, conjure up a lot of emotion and things like that, it has to take a physical presence in camera to really make it work.
That's so true. I mean, as good as CGI is, it does somehow lack the human element, which, all the puppeteers and all of them, like, they really bring to that character. I mean, and in a way, not to say anything bad about, because I love all the Pixar movies, and I cry at all of them, but there is something beautiful about the 2D animation, and Mulan, kind of incorporated definitely the 2D plus the new CGI that was coming out.
Yeah, that's right. That was a big turning point in animation.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take one over here.
Hi, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to go back a bit to Street Fighter. And
yes,
especially the scene with you in the dress and Raul Julia, and that's become very iconic now for me, it was Tuesday quote, and if you could talk about your memories of that.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It was my first big film project, and it was my first big action movie, and I had no idea the amount of work that went into making an action movie. I mean, we were training morning, noon, and night before we started shooting, so it was tough. But Raul Julia was a gem of a human being, and he was already, not well at that time, but he really wanted to do this character and do this movie because his kids loved Street Fighter so much. So I loved, every minute of it. I loved filming it. I had a lot of fun training and hanging out with the guys, and with Kylie Minogue, who played Cammy. And I have very fond memories of it. Yeah, Raul Julia was amazing, very inspirational.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice to be in a scene with that iconic moment. It's really cool.
Awesome, thank you very much.
And that was all pre-social media and memes too.
That's right.
All right, go ahead over here.
Hi, I'm Madeline. I love Fennec, and I want to see more of Fennec.
Thanks.
And I was just curious.
How much more?
If
It's my Ming-Uendos, okay?
if Fennec were
Such
to
a
have
nerd.
her
I am
own
such
show,
a nerd. Go ahead, I'm sorry, Matt.
If Fennec were to have her own show, what would you want to see as the main plot for season 1?
Come on.
You're asking the wrong person.
And she does deserve her own show.
Aw, serious? You guys really like Fennec that much?
Come on, Saloni.
I love you guys. Thank you. I have a lot of thoughts about where her character can go. I'll have to ask John and Dave, and maybe see where it goes. But right now, I'm just beyond thrilled to just be with Boba in the Book of Boba Fett. It's so much fun, and I love having that sort of ensemble work. It's not always great to be number one. You're there every day. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead over here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for coming to Vancouver. Yeah, I remember watching the first time. I think the first movie I saw you involved was Mulan back in 1998. And I also enjoyed your performance in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, I was quite surprised when you were going to be in The Mandalorian. So this is about a fun question. Since you're a big Star Wars geek, do you have a favorite Star Wars meme?
Yeah.
Favorite meme
From Star Wars.
from Star Wars. There's so many.
What's your favorite Star Wars meme?
The Senate meme.
What was that?
I am the Senate.
Oh, I know that.
I am the Senate.
Ah, okay. I don't know. I hate like trying to answer a question like that. So I'm not going to then.
Nice.
Maybe we'll give you like a couple examples next time when you pick your favorite, like the shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
you can just call
You got
me.
this,
You
you're
can just
good.
call me Ming.
no, it's more. I'm mildly freaking out right now. But I'm fine.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I have been a fan of yours since Mulan, and I've loved everything that you've ever been in. Anytime I ever see you are involved in a project, I'm immediately into it, and I love it.
Oh, okay. Well, this week, I'm gonna plug it. This week, Young Sheldon. I don't know if it's the same title,
yeah.
but I do an episode of Young Sheldon. So I just
Right on.
That's awesome. Okay, so I had to write this down because I'm terrible with thinking things up. Okay, the movie Mulan has widely, at least within the queer community, been accepted as a queer-centric film. While it may not have been written that way on purpose, the movie has definitely helped many queer folks see themselves more clearly, whether that be through Mulan's drag, Shang being considered a bisexual character and subsequent icon, as well as the song Reflection being co-opted by trans people everywhere as a way to explain the trans experience. So my question for you is, how do you feel about the film being such an iconic and special film to queer people everywhere, and thus Mulan herself as a queer icon?
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love the question. I love the fact that I was able to be part of a character that had that as a residual but also now poignant impact in the queer community, because that definitely I don't think was or maybe it was and I didn't have any idea, because I knew the story of Mulan growing up, and it's about her dressing up as a man to save her family and be a heroine. It's wonderful, because anytime there's a character that can help to make someone feel like they're seen and that they're represented, is just, it's an icing on top of a layer of icing. So I love the fact that that happened, and it's a testament to what a personal story like the story of Fan Mulan can have on a very universal level. A very specific Chinese folklore became something that man, woman, trans, queer are all able to see a little of themselves in it. And it's all about, Mulan trying to find who she is and what she's capable of and what her potential is, and only feeling like she was disappointing and failing. And in the end, because she just followed her own heart and believed what was right, that's her reward was saving China, right? Her reward was becoming the heroine or the hero. It doesn't matter. It's just about finding your potential. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Well said. Thoughtful group here. Really thoughtful group here,
It really is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, go ahead over here.
Hello, welcome to Canada, and really great to have you here. But
Well, that didn't sound very enthusiastic. You're saying it, you're like, welcome to Canada, and we're really thrilled to have you.
He's
here.
nervous. He's nervous.
I'm just joking. I'm so
I just wanted
bad.
to ask a quick question. Just you've been part of so many big fan bases, and it's just been so great to see you play different strong roles in all these categories that we've seen in movies and TV shows. has there been a fan base that you haven't touched on yet that you just love to be part of? And you know, that could be like Harry Potter or The Lord of the Rings or DC. Like, is there something that you've just always been like, oh, if I had the opportunity, I'd take it?
I don't want to be greedy, but be greedy, right? I can't say some of the projects that I'm working with, but I mean, I feel like, wow. I mean, some people have mentioned Star Trek, and I've always been a Trekker, and I know Bill is here somewhere in the building.
He's coming up after you, actually.
Oh, well, there we go.
Stick around.
So maybe I should just hang out with him. But, you know, that would be a really incredible franchise to touch on. And what else can I touch?
That's good, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just grateful for anything that comes along. And you know, I just, I hope I get to keep working. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for wanting to keep watching it.
Okay, go ahead over here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm a huge fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and my question for you is, what was your most memorable behind-the-scenes moment with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cast?
The bookends, you know, the pilot episode that we shot together and getting, you know, to know each other and forming this group, and then our final scene. We actually filmed our final scene, you know, on one of the last days of the shoot, where we all said our sort of, not farewells, but, you know, see you later kind of thing. So yeah, those are very special moments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Go ahead.
Hello. I wanted to first mention that the Book of Boba is likely the first like Star Wars media with Indigenous representation as an Indigenous story. And I was wondering, like, what kind of story would you want to see from, like, a minority within our world portrayed on Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean, Tem, I think, definitely had a massive influence, you know, in having John and Dave explore the Tuscans and explore that, you know, that storyline, because the Tuscans were always looked at as the savages, the bad guys, the, you know, the animals of the planet, and in essence, those images were shattered quite a bit by those stories, and it, I mean, for me, I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see how they can incorporate a storyline, you know, because it takes place in a galaxy far, far away, right? So how do they bring on Asian elements? I mean, and they have touched on it in costumes and things like that, the influences of the Asian culture. I don't know, that's a very good question. I'll have to think about that one. That's a heavy one. You guys are asking really heavy questions today. Can we talk about ice cream?
Yeah.
What's your favorite flavor, Ming?
Yeah, what is it?
Coffee. No, but thank you.
All right, go ahead over here.
Hi.
I really miss Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and because the best part of it.
Sorry, can you just speak up a little louder?
The best parts of it were you and the cast, and I really miss them. So I was wondering if you've been in touch with them recently.
Oh yeah. I was actually in London recently, and I got to see Ian, and I got to see Nick Blood and Jason O'Mara, and I actually was recently at a wedding of my boss, Marissa Tancherone and Jed Wheaton. Not their marriage. I'm sorry, they're already married, but Kevin, who actually directed an episode of the Book of Boba Fett. I I feel like a big auntie with Kevin. So yeah, we do keep in touch a lot.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, people, I've got the dreaded 5-minute wrap warning, so we only have time for 2 more questions. I really apologize to the people that waited so patiently in line, but we'll have to cut it short after the next 2 questions. So we'll start on this side.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm a huge Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a Star Wars fan. And while watching the Book of Boba Fett, I noticed that there's a lot of similarities between Melinda May and Fennec Shand.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you took any characteristics from Melinda and used it while playing Fennec?
Yeah, I mean, I only have one face, so when you're playing a badass character that doesn't emote very much, and they're both sort of like that, I can only do so much of not showing too much emotions. I think the way I make a difference with the two of them is that, Melinda May is very maternal. She even though she doesn't show it because of her pain, she's very, very maternal, and she protects, and Fennec is not. Fennec is all about, oh, this is good food, I'm gonna just eat it, and oh, you need to die because you're just in my way. So in a way, for her, the way I play her character is she makes very, very selfish choices, and we'll see where her character can evolve and go from there.
Thank you so much. Okay, final question for Ming-Na over here, please.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Ming. Thank you so much for being here. It's really, really amazing.
Isn't it though?
It is.
Yeah. So amazing, right? That I'm here.
It is, yeah.
I'm joking, but thank you.
Super
All right.
surreal because, after COVID and everything, it's amazing. That
It really is. It's so great. Okay, what's your question? Hurry up.
Sorry. Okay. I wanted to ask, is there any advice that you'd want to give to your past self or to young people who are looking to get into the industry, especially as a woman and as a person who's not of the visible majority?
Don't make it as an excuse that you don't succeed. That's it. Because you can be too short, too fat, too skinny, too blonde, too whatever. There'll always be a million excuses. So never let those thoughts get into your head. If it's something that you want to do, you do it. And you pursue it with all your heart and all your passion. And even if you're knocked down 100 times, you keep doing it because it's what you love. And one day, one door will open, and then another door will open, or another door opens into a new arena that you had no idea that you'll also love. So you have to not make excuses. Because if I did that, I would have been, a doctor or running my parents' business. I did it with my whole heart. So that would be my advice.
Have you considered motivational speaking? Well, thank you so much for your candor and your wonderful stories and your lessons of empowerment, Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Listen, seriously, I was that little girl sitting alone in my room, playing with my Star Wars toys, drawing pictures of myself as Han Solo, the female version.
Yes. Now there's a toy of you.
And now there's a toy of me. So
give it